Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good morning. Good morning and warm welcome to our speakers and fellow students to our second slot for today, Grand Career Talk by our alumni for the Biochemical Biotechnology Department. The objective of this slot is to expose students to the current work practices as opposite to the mainly theoretical knowledge being taught in the university. First, let me introduce our speaker, Liana Yahya. She has graduated from UIA 2008, and she's a researcher at the TMP Research Center in Berhai. So without further ado, I would like to invite Liana Yahya to deliver her talk for today. So please welcome.
Hi, all right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll share my screen first.
Can you hear, guys?
So everyone's here, right? Can I see your picture? Can everyone turn on your video so that we feel, is it two-way communication?
Mm-hmm. I guess
okay.
your voice is a bit away. If you can check the mic or something. Yeah.
Okay, better now?
Yes.
Is it better?
Fine. Yeah.
Right, okay. All right, Assalamualaikum. Very good morning to all of you. So, Alhamdulillah, I'm here back after almost, how many years? Since 2000, last I graduate from master is 2011. So almost 10 years. So it's a glad opportunity to share with all of you today on this Grand Career Talk by alumni. So I can see one of my senior here, Muhammad Faizal Novacha. So not sure whether you remember me or not, but you are one of my tutor back then in 2008. So yeah, glad to see everyone here. So very good morning. So I hope you have a great session just now on the resume. And then now it's actually, let's make it informal. Basically, I just want to share my experience and feel like brother and sister, yeah, talking about your prospect and your career soon. So briefly about me, if you can see there, there's a TS right in front. It's basically represent technical specialist. Most of you might hear about IR, which is in engineer position where it you can get it from IEM, Institute Engineering Malaysia, or BEM. But this TS is technical specialist entitled given by MBOT, Malaysian Board of Technologies. So actually in engineering, we can have both TS and also IR. So basically, if you are working in industry, it is important for the title basically for people to acknowledge your expertise so that you can gain more knowledge and also is exposure for yourself also. So basically, I'm a technical specialist in green technology and also renewable energy. So I've been working with TMB Research as a researcher since 2011, right after my master. So this year will be the 10-year anniversary with TMB Research, Alhamdulillah. So as you can see, I'm not only an employee, I'm also a student. Currently, I'm doing my PhD and also a wife and a mother of two, Alhamdulillah. So you can see my beautiful kids over there is basically my inspiration. Okay, being in TMB Research, my expertise is, you can see here, biological carbon capture and utilization. So actually today, from this term, you can expose yourself about the term because if you entering the industrial, you might, this is the terms that relate to biotechnology and also biochemical. So actually carbon capture and utilization is one of the RE technology that are in today. So basically what are the carbon capture and utilization? So if we are talking about CO2, it's a greenhouse gas emission. So it's a issue worldwide, not only in Malaysia. So Malaysia are now talking about carbon capture, but after that, what are you going to do with the CO2, right? So in TMB, we are looking on the utilization, meaning that we convert the CO2 to be utilized for valuable purposes. In this case, we are, if you can see the first picture here, we are focusing on the microalgae carbon capture, whereby we isolate the microalgae at our power plant itself, and then we, you know that algae is like a plant where it undergoes photosynthesis, so it can convert CO2 into oxygen, and the biomass can be further utilized for downstream purposes. And another one, my expertise is also on the biogas technology, whereby we are focusing on the food waste conversion to biogas and for electricity purposes, and also CO2 energy crop and biohydrogen production. All right. So you can see here that I graduated my Bachelor of Engineering in UIA back then in 2008. And then about 1 year, I decided to pursue my master also in UIA in biotech engineering. So you can see my love towards UIA there since 2004 up to 2011. And then right away after I finished my master, in fact, before I graduated, I get the opportunity to work in TMB research. So I found my passion there till now. In fact, my husband also is one of the staff there. So yeah, and then in 2019, recently, oh sorry, okay, I proceed with my PhD in UPM in chemical engineering. So sponsored by TMB. So now, right now is still ongoing. So, okay. So basically, today I want to share my experience. So if you can see that to have a clearer picture of your career, right? You need a clear mission. Okay, maybe I should next. Okay. So basically, you have to have a clear mission. What are you going to do after you graduate? So, for example, now you are taking the biotech and biochemical engineering, right? So you have from now, so you need to have a clear mission. What are your career? What prospect do you want to venture? So career is not something, don't take career is like a job. There is a difference between jobs and also career. Career is where it's a long term that you build during lifetime, meaning that career is is a learning journey. So take your career as a part of your learning journey in your life, because when you, for example, when we study, yes, we do learn all the theoretical parts, but when you enter a career, basically it's not only applying what we learn, but also we learn new things. And so you need to open up yourself and willing to learn something new, and also you need to explore what are the new technologies over there. Talking about biotech right now, we are talking about renewable energy, so you need to know all those things. So yes, have a clear mission, and then also you need to expose yourself and be brave to grab the opportunity. For example, like if you graduated, maybe several first year you cannot get your maybe your dream job. So it's okay to have like a few jobs as a stepping stone, but make sure you grab the opportunities that you aim. So basically, you know what are your future aim and also objective. And the most important thing I see that from nowadays fresh graduate, that they are only focusing on the technical, on the academic, but it is actually very important for you guys to grab the soft skill, the interpersonal skill. For example, sometimes I also I also interview for like new researchers. So we can see that some of the candidates are only what we can say that only success in their academic, meaning that yeah, their CV is like for flat, for example, but when you ask them to talk, so there's a lack of soft skill there. So actually, like for example, if you know Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, right? He even told her son to be an average student at university, because he said that when you are an average student, you get enough time to learn about the soft skill, but not meaning that here you cannot excellent in your academic, but try to balance it, right? Even in Islam also we say wasatiyah, right? So try to balance the academic and also the soft skill, because now presentation skill, talking to the customer, talking to the vendor is really important in industrial career. Because right now also we are talking about business opportunity, sustainability. So this one, all these things need to be balanced, okay? And then, of course, when we study, maybe a degree, master, and also PhD, but we please do not stop learning. We like I said just now, career is something that we build during our lifetime, right? So keep learning and expand your mind, share with others, and then try to get as a lot of knowledge that you can, explore yourself with new technologies, because talking about technology, it's never stop, especially in biotech industry, in food industry, environmental. So there is a lot of opportunities out there. So please open up your mind to grab as many knowledge that we can. So, and of course, the last but not least, get more support and teamwork, because if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So if in building up your career, we do have to get more support around us with our team members, get your support from your family, so that you can build a better career and you can go far. Okay, so I guess maybe I'll stop here first, giving my senior to talk, and then maybe further we can discuss more on during the Q&A session. So again, it's a big pleasure for me to share with all of you here today. So thank you.
Thank you, Sister Layana Yahya, for your speech. And now we would like to welcome another alumni for UIA, Mr. Muhammad Faisal. He has studied in UIA in 2005, Bachelor of Engineering Biotechnology, and he's doing he's done his master's in the science of biomedicine. And now, in current occupation, is a senior manager at Malaysian Bioeconomy Development Corporation, Settlement High. So please, without any further ado, please welcome.
Hello. Assalamualaikum. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Right. Thank you, Liana. It's nice seeing you again. Yeah. And congratulations on all your achievements. Yeah. Okay. Dear guys, I was like what Brother Abdul Rahman was mentioning. I studied it. I graduated in 2005. I think we were the second, what do you call it, pioneer batch of biotechnology. I think, let me take out this. It's not very clear for me. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Okay, good. I think my earphone is not working very well. All right. Okay, what I'm going to present is because I'm in the Malaysian Bioeconomy Development Corporation. What we used to be, it used to be called the Malaysian Biotech Corporation. So my presentation will skew towards basically what the industry can offer. So it doesn't run very far away from Liana. So Liana is right in the middle of the industry. So mine will be an overview. All right. So let me start my presentation. Okay. Can you see my presentation? Ken?
Yes.
All right. Okay. First of all, I'll go to the gist of it. Okay. My experience. I mean, considered as a pioneer batch in the field. I mean, for me, it was a challenging to find the right footing once you graduate. You know, personal experience. It was not easy getting a job right after you graduate. So I think Liana knows. So I end up becoming a tutor until I find a job. Found a job, and I think thanks to my supervisors and some of our lecturers in the university, I was given a chance to do my master's. So this was a continuation of my research. So and so that helped me give me a larger perspective or a further in-depth knowledge of biotechnology itself and the ability to do research. So one of the key thing is once we graduate, we're always thinking of a mindset that the only job is a research. At my time, during my time, the only job is a research job. So I ended up looking for only research type of jobs. I couldn't get anything, something like that. So I ended up working into getting a job in logistics, and then went to sales for a while, and like what Liana says, when you find your right break, grab it. When the time is right, know what you want, and grab it. When the iron is hot. So once I finished, several jobs in sales and everything, ended up getting a job in the Academy of Sciences Malaysia. So that gave me a good footing into development of policy papers and how task forces are run, and more into management skills. So I think with this, you've gone into the industry, you have a larger perspective of what the industry can offer. And at the same time, you are dealing with different specialists within the industry. So that gave me a break on how to move forward in my career. And what I feel is, like what Liana was mentioning, we are all engineers, whether we come from biotech or other background, but I think as engineers, I think our capability to think across multiple disciplines actually makes a lot of differences. We have the science, we have the engineering, and then the thought process, we can actually work around our way, okay? And this goes into our soft skills and, a lot of other things. I think that was the advantage that I think the engineering thought process has. So don't let it go waste. I mean, we may not be good in certain subjects, but make sure that we understand the core of all the subjects. I was not great in some things, but as long as you understand the core, the nucleus of the subject, at least you understand the principles of the subject. This will help you later on when you are in the industry. Okay. And okay, so before further ado, I'll just go into a background of the industry I'm working with. Okay, I'm not into research, but more into industry development and project management. And okay, next slide. I mean, as you know that biotechnology, it's in Malaysia, it was an outcome from the National Biotech Policy, which was initiated in 2005. And a lot of what's going on in the country, it's due to the implementation of this national biotech policy. So there are 9 thrusts inside this. So you have agriculture, healthcare, industrial, and then, okay, these are the 3 main industrial sectors. So I think Liana, I think your side, you will fall into industrial, I think more to industrial, right? Carbon capture, biogas, okay? So these are some of similar projects that we are also working with. So that's a core. And then I was basically in the agriculture division because my research projects were agri related. So, I got my, I could continue whatever I'm doing within the agriculture. So a lot of my presentations later on, I'll give you a gist of what the agri-biotech industry can actually offer. All right. And of course, as an engineer or somebody within this field, you can also go into, careers in training, in, due diligence, financial due diligence, and, legal and regulatory. A colleague of mine, I think he's also my batch, Mr. Rahim. He's in, he's a specialist in patent, IP related. We just had a gathering last week, okay, with him, and I think he's among the foremost IT specialists in the country, and he is currently in Cradle. You may contact him if you guys need assistance on patent later on in your research, okay? And of course, you have strategic development. So this is where I am in, and also government support and commitment. So that is my core job scope, what I'm doing right now. All right. Next, okay, bioeconomy, it's basically a circular economy concept where you have agriculture, raw materials from agriculture will go into industrial processes, like you're talking about algae, growing of algae for your carbon capture, and then as a carbon sink, and then from there you create as a sustainable source of energy. You have raw materials from agricultural waste. How do you convert that into sustainable energy sources, as well as downstream products that for better wealth creation and more job creation. So this is what we actually do and put the ecosystem together for the industry to take up. Right, and because of such a role, we work with a lot of people, from researchers to industry experts to even the industry, and at the same time, even with foreign technologies, so that we can create a value for Malaysians and for Malaysia as a whole, and at the same time to take our companies abroad. So that is our main aim. Without research, we're not going to go anywhere. So that's what we have seen. If we don't do research, everything is going to be stagnant. We're going backwards. So this is what we have seen from our past 10 years, analyzing the companies that we are actually supporting. Those who do not continue or what do you call it, invest into research or even talent management, they don't go very far. It just dies off. So the importance of research is very important here, right? It's very crucial. All right, number 2. Okay, I mean, like, this is what I was saying. So the place that I'm working with, it's like an ecosystem where you deal with different sectors of the industry. So including facilitations for investments and domestic industry development and putting up the ecosystems, right? And when we say putting up the ecosystems, what we meant is you have buyers, you have sellers, you have technology providers, you have people who are investing and they're looking for the right investment. So you have to, like what Liana says, your other skills, your skills of communication, your skills of your financial skills, your soft skills, and the ability to have strategic thinking. That is very important to put projects together, of course. So these are very important, like what Liana also mentioned. These are very important skills other than your technical skills for you to go further in this field. Because like what I said, we don't want to just stick to one thing. We need to expand our scope. Okay, and that will bring you wonders, at the same time open up more and more doors for you. Right. Okay, next slide. Okay. Just a breakdown of what the biotech industry or actually comprises of. I think Liana clearly mentioned you have environmental, and you have similar environmental biotechnology, you have waste management biotechnology. So these are core things. So at the same time, within the national biotech policy, but as we speak now, a new national biotech policy is being framed up by the Ministry of Science and Technology, but it won't run away far from what I'm doing now, but it'll just expand further. So it's a good time for graduates of biotechnology. There is a good future, because MOSTI, as we speak now, is actually expanding the scope and coming up with the National Biotech Policy 2.0. So I'm not sure if TNB is part of the framework or part of the task force or something. I hope they are, because what you're doing is very crucial for the future of the country. Okay. And before I go, Malaysian Biotech Corp, it's a government agency. I forgot to mention that we were under Ministry of Science and Technology. Now we are under Ministry of Agriculture. So we report to the Ministry of Agriculture. So a bulk of our projects are all related, agri-related, but we do touch into biomedical and bioindustrial projects. As you can see that under agriculture, you have a lot of sectors: aquaculture, biotechnology, crops, natural product, livestock. So there are a whole lot of industries who require such expertise. Okay, and biomedical, you have subsectors like biopharmaceuticals, biomedtech, bioservices, emerging bio. So all these vaccines, coming up, and and then your generic medicines. So companies like Biocon, I think they've hired a lot of our graduates. And thirdly is bioindustrial. So you're talking about biomaterials, biogas, fine bulk, and specialty chemicals. So these are some of the projects that on my side I'm also working on biomaterials, bioplastics. We are working with industries to actually commercialize those products. At the same time, take it nationwide as a national initiative. I think similar to the green initiative, what we are doing a green initiative for hospitals through bioeconomy. So that is something we are working on, renewable sources of agricultural waste to make into biodegradable utensils for hospitals. So it is an initiative that is going on right now. So those are considered within the biomaterial scope. And we don't reinvent the wheels. We work with industry experts and the industry in Malaysia. So there are opportunities in this country. People who are already there have established their businesses. Okay, and fine bulk and specialty chemicals, especially in the food and flavor ingredients, food and flavor industry. I can even say that Malaysia, we are not, we are not the largest cocoa growers in the world, but Malaysia is the largest blenders in the world for cocoa. So, there are certain niche areas within Malaysia who require our knowledge and expertise. And the oil and fats industry is very huge, and the emulsifier industry is very huge. So these are downstream industries that we do support, and opportunities are quite wide in those sectors, right? Right. Okay, because I was in the Agriculture Biotech division, I'll just give you a brief breakdown of what this comprises of. We have aquaculture. If you talk about Aquaculture Biotech, we have fish, the breeding of fish, the research R&D on the feed for the fish, and crustaceans, sea cucumber, seaweed. At the same time, the what do you call it? The health related projects or health related research for this sector. And this is a huge growing sector in this country. And what I would recommend is, let's say, for those who are interested in this sector, after your graduation, you could actually go into some kind of marine biotechnology kind of field. So there's a huge potential not only in Malaysia but in overseas. If you look in Saudi Arabia, the company called NAQA, it's a national aquaculture company of Saudi Arabia, financed by some of the larger banks, and we have about 30 to 40% of their staffing are from Malaysia. So we have architects, we have engineers, and we have biotechnologists who are working in Saudi Arabia. So there's a huge demand for such field in aquaculture because it is food production. You cannot run away from food, So number 2 is crops. So crops, we can actually divide into soil and plant research, biofertilizers, biocontrols, planting materials, development of seeds, elite planting material like seed development, and research into market development and validation. So these are all research oriented, and there's a huge in Malaysia, and as like what Liana was also mentioning, we are talking about biogas capture from, I think, oil palm fruits, I think EFB, if I'm not mistaken. So and there are companies who are actually working on EFB related empty food branches and POME related to do single cell proteins for animal feed, as well as biofertilizers for the crop industry. So what we do on my side is we evaluate these companies and then support them with the right stakeholders. It could be from the state level, or it could be from the federal level, and then we guide them on through the Ministry of Agriculture to do specific field trials for these products, and so that they can actually commercialize their products. At the same time, they don't waste money on unwanted or non-industry based kind of R&D. So this kind of research is worked. It's actually packaged such that it is all related to what the industry wants. And number 3 is natural products. We have a lot of talks about health supplements, flavors and emulsifiers, cosmeceuticals, botanical extracts, and functional foods. So there are companies who are doing extracts in Malaysia, and then they do validation, they do standardization. So these are all skills where biotechnology or biochemical engineering skills are very relevant, other than food tech related expertise. Number 3 is livestock. This is a bit slow in Malaysia. I'm sure we are still importing a lot of livestock or raw materials from overseas. From a policy point of view, this is my experience for your thing. It's because we are still importing a lot of raw materials, animal feed, even meat from other countries. So this is actually not allowing the local industry to grow. So it's a challenging industry. But as you can see, the final point down there is waste management. So you have a lot of opportunities is in livestock waste management. So where you can also go into biogas from there. And this is not just related to goats or cattle, but it's huge. There's a huge potential in the poultry industry. From you can even do what they call it like black soldier fly. You can actually breed certain species of flies to actually use them as complementary or supplementary animal feed replacement, protein replacement. So this is a huge industry that is taking off in Malaysia, and there's a huge potential in that. And they are and in such industries are actually employing graduates. And Malaysia has become a focal point for this industry because of our climate and the ability of our students to actually speak English. So that is very. All right, I'll just go a quick one on basically these are some of the companies like Geology. They're doing seeds. We have Agrovery, who are very huge in pineapple production, exporting overseas. We have Enza Zarden. These are huge seed companies. So Voltex doing orchids, and they all require specialists in biotechnology. All right. So aquaculture, you have what they call it bivalves, which are crustacean related, like oysters and clams. And you have shrimp culture, you have fish culture, and there are a lot of biotech elements within this. All right. So you have natural products. You are culturing your cordyceps, or your tongkat ali, bioreactors. And and a lot of herbs that you can actually extract and make it into value-added products. So the livestock industry mainly is animal feed. Like Sanzan is a listed company, which was actually co-owned by Pfizer last time, but it's independent now. So they're doing feed and feed additives for the animal industry. So coming back to my key takeaway messages in the working culture from study to career embarkment, right? I mean, it doesn't run away far from what Liana has experienced. I mean, the key thing is the ability to stay focused and not to give up. For me, my personal experience was I had good friends. I had good friends. We supported each other. My roommates, we supported each other. We graduated in different years, but without our support, and our what do we call it? Peer mentoring. Without that, I would say that I would not have graduated. And they all are successful in different areas in the industry. And to be honest, I owe my success to my friends, my roommates, who were with me right to the end. So we were what we call it peer mentoring, and we help each other. And what we do not know, we give a shoulder to cry on sometimes what you have, you know, it's just not for girls, it's also for guys. All right. Okay, because engineering can be very challenging. Okay, so secondly is communication is key. Communication is not only in your studies, but you know, as you graduate, if you are going away, as you graduate, you are going into industry, you're going into your next workplace, communication is very key, very crucial. And a key part of communication is actually respect to others. Okay, I mean, I'm sure Liana has faced this before, office politics. Okay, I don't want to go into that, but office politics can be very can bring you down, but the only way to come out of it is we have our own principle of respecting others. You know, the moment that we have what do you call it, the concept of respecting others, I think we will be able to escape that that trap of the political what do you call it, office politics within the industry. So, and then once you do that, you will have support coming from all over, from your teammates, from your bosses, from industry. You know, these are natural things that will attract. So once you have the concept of respect, concept of you know, we think that others are above us, the humbleness and honesty, these are natural attributes that will attract success to your career. So I mean, these are my 2 cents advice and experience, you know, my humble experience from what I've actually gone through. Okay, of course, endurance lah. How far can you take things? All right, and so I've given you a basic gist of what the industry can actually offer, what I do, and I mean, unlike Liana, I'm not a specialist. I'm a jack of all trades, right? So, so because the industry is such, so you have to have that ability to be flexible. So, okay, I'll end my presentation now, and we'll go back to Brother Abdul Rahman. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Muhammad Faisal, and thank you to all our speakers, Brother Muhammad and Sister Liana, for the great sharing. And now we are having now the Q&A session. So if anyone would like to have any question, you can just open your mic, or you can just write in the chat box. Feel free to ask any question. This is our alumni. We have to ask. Okay, there is a question here. It says, in your opinion, which opinion, brother? Muhammad opinion or Liana opinion? What would describe the biotechnology industry in Malaysia currently? Who would like to answer? What would you describe the biotechnology industry in Malaysia currently?
Diana, you want to go first?
Okay, maybe like I said just now, in industry, biotech is actually very broad. So like you can see from Brother Muhammad Faisal presentation just now, biotechnology is inclusive like environment. For example, we in TMB Research, we are looking at the environmental impact of the industry. So meaning that from our process like combustion for electricity generation, and then of course we are emitting gas like CO2, right? So we are looking on the basically post process. So what you're going to do with the gases that we emit, so what are the environmental impacts, what are how to mitigate those issues. So that is one of the biotechnology in perspective on the environmental impact. And then it also inclusive like food industry. So actually in all industry, there is an element of this biotech. So basically to explore in the industry, for example, if you want to build your career, you need to understand what are the industry, what are their business in each industry, because each industry, of course, there is environmental issue in any industry. So that's come the biotech industry. So and also in agriculture and marine. So actually biotech industry is really broad. So it's not only research, but of course in any industry. So maybe Brother Faizal can add some points.
All right, thank you, Liana. I mean, the key thing is the question is what are the, I mean, you are asking how broad the industry is it? Was that the question? Okay, I assume it's how broad the industry is. So the key thing is, I mean, I mean, the industry core areas, biotech, you have bioindustrials, you have healthcare core area. A lot of you know, there are a lot of opportunities within the regulatory frame, the regulatory. If you talk about healthcare, the regulatory experts. So this is where you need to identify the business opportunities within those industries. And of course, as you study, you need to find your core strengths and build on it. Some people may just like the bio side of the what we are studying. Some people like what do you call it, the core engineering side, the electrical side. You know, it's all about, as you study, you need to find out, or you need to understand what is your core. Okay, you need to identify your core interests, and then, you know, and then build on it, because naturally you can bring more into that. And you know, I don't want you to fail on others. Make sure you pass everything and do well, but build on your core interests, and then probably research onto the business opportunities within that industry. So, and then based on what both of us have presented, you know, the opportunities are great. You know, unlike 10 years ago, but the opportunities in Malaysia, it's there. You know, and because what we learn from actually the syllabus within IIUM, it can be applicable to a lot of industry. So I think it's quite broad based, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll give you an example, a simple thing like what they call bioplastics. So we have, I mean, with your knowledge of probably material sciences, you can actually work with companies who are actually doing biomaterials for the industry. This is a huge growing market in Malaysia, because Malaysia is rich in raw materials, from algae to plant biomass, and the technologies are all available. It's all about tweaking and how do you improvise on the technology. So, you know, it's just not skewed to what do you call it, core biotechnologies, but you know, it can go into various fields, right? So anything else? Mm-hmm.
Anyone else has any question? You can open your mic, or you can write in the chat box again.
Yeah, my question, brother Rahman, our participants are which year are they in biotech? Are they first year, second year? You know?
Yeah,
No, they are from all.
Right.
Yeah.
Majority are they from?
We open it to all actually, but
Okay.
yeah, we open it to all.
Right, interesting.
But surely the one who's interested in joining this will be in third and fourth year.
Right.
Planning to go to the industry after that.
But just one
guys.
thing, personally, for me, doing masters helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you prefer to do masters before going to the industry?
I mean, for me, it was two things, because I couldn't get a proper job, so I ended up doing masters. but it really helped me a lot, because when you go into the industry, sometimes as a graduate, you know, I mean, last time, you know, when I went into sales, you know, you have your interviews ask me, you know, Faizal, I have you, I have another person who has a master's, who do I take? You know, naturally you say, I'll go for the guy who has a master's. You know, 10 years ago, getting a job was very difficult. 10 or 15 years, I don't know how many years now, right? I had to check my resume, I had to check my certificate to actually recall which year I graduated actually.
Okay, there is two questions here. Yeah. The first question is, how do you discover which areas you are going to get involved with after a study? Like how do you plan, or how do you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for you, and then we go to Sister Lan.
Okay. Yeah, Liana. All right. I mean, as you graduate, let's say in your third year or fourth year, there are specific projects, your final year projects that you are actually doing. So this will basically take you towards a certain field of interest, a certain field of interest that you like. Maybe you're going into mammalian cell culture, that kind of stuff, or you're going into biomolecular sites. So as you see your interest, or probably even what do you call it, bioinformatics. Okay, I'm not sure what's the syllabus now, but if you're going to bioinformatics, so once you see your interest, then that will be your first guide to take you to identify the type of the industry that you want to go. Okay, so that would be my advice, to follow your instinct and follow your interest. Okay, if you find it difficult, then okay, you go to the next thing, whatever is available, but always never lose track on what you want, because you will definitely find it. I found it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, maybe I can add some points. Yeah, it's actually about your passion. For example, not only during your final year project, right? Normally during your third year, you'll be having the internship program, right? So actually during the internship program, you can start finding a right or suitable industry that you can get knowledge. For example, there's few of our internship students, when they graduated, in fact, they come to us, and based on their internship program, we see the potential. So we took them as our staff. So actually, the internship program is one of the crucial program that you can gain so many knowledge on this biotechnology perspective. So it's not only just a graduation requirement, but take that opportunity to gain and to expose yourself on the industrial biotechnology perspective.
Okay, but this question is leading us to another question. Mostly the students are thinking about, should I follow my interest, or should I follow the industry, which is like it has some high demand in some areas of biotechnology? Which one should we follow? And this is also the second question asking, may I know which area of biotechnology that is has high demand in Malaysia right now?
Okay, maybe the biotechnology industry that high demand in Malaysia, like for example, if industry, now we are aggressively looking on renewable energy. So if you are talking about renewable energy, of course the biotech perspective is there. For example, like I said just now, biogas, right? So biogas technology is very broad, whereby the sources is also broad. For example, looking at pomade, palm oil mill in effluent, and also currently people are looking on food waste, whereby this food waste is not only the high value potential for biogas, but it's also becoming an issue for Malaysia, because it been dumping to the landfill, and it creates greenhouse gas emission. So this RE technology is currently, I could say, high demand in Malaysia, and also not to forget the agriculture industry on the biomass, because Malaysia is one of the largest palm oil industry, right? So if you are looking into industries like Dabi, so there's a huge potential on this area.
Brother Faisal, Muhammad, do you have anything to add on this?
I think in terms of huge potential is actually within the healthcare biotech, and agro and healthcare biotech and environmental biotech. So there are huge opportunities within those two sectors. And of course, I don't want to leave out agri-biotech, because in terms of biotechnology within the agriculture sector, we are not there yet in terms of expertise, but it is gradually it is a growing industry, because a lot of government support for the agriculture industry, because for the agri industry. But in terms of actual, if you're looking at career prospects, huge potential in environmental and healthcare biotech.
Okay, thank you so much. So is there any other questions, guys? And someone is asking also regarding the genetics industry. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any background about it?
Yes. I mean, a lot of this genetic research is basically on sequencing and bioinformatics, but it's mainly it has been mainly for within the healthcare industry. So right now, healthcare industries, but we do have another growing industry within Malaysia for the seed industry. So in terms of seed development, where you're talking about marker developments to identify the right what do you call it, for seed development. So that is another opportunity within the industries. So there are several multinational companies in Malaysia who are setting up their base here, and not only here within Southeast Asia, who are looking for such expertise, basically bioinformatics and molecular biology. So this is mainly for the seed industry, as well as seed industry for crops. Because you talk about seed, it also can be seeds for livestock, genetic material for livestock, or aquaculture, but here it's more into planting materials. And number two is for human health, basically for disease monitoring, and you can actually, what they call it, precision medicine. So that's going to be a huge thing in Malaysia, because there's a huge push from the Ministry of Health towards precision, or what they call it, precision medicine. So you develop certain what do you call it, generics, or certain medical solutions for a certain group of patients. So this is another huge opportunity, right?
Okay.
And
So
businesses like this can be international, not just localized. Right.
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 Okay, guys. Any other questions? Okay. It seems there are no other questions. So we would like to send also the link for the feedback about our program. So the link will be sent in the chat, and please can you fill it up? Yes. Okay. I guess we still have some time. So if you would like to share any for 2 minutes, any last thing about whatever you want to share with the students as the last thing. But just Sister Leanna, you can start with that.
My advice is, again, please polish up your soft skill. Like for today, if you want to ask us, just feel free to ask, right? Don't be shy. So just expose yourself. It's actually practice make perfect, right? So yeah, don't shy. And then, for example, in UIA, just if you have an opportunity to join any society, so it's a good platform to polish up your soft skill. Of course, besides being excellent in studies and in your FYP projects. For anyone who haven't undergo their internship program, so please select a right industry for that program, because it really helps you to see your career prospect. And we also in TMB Research are most welcome for any internship. So feel free to contact me if you want to undergo internship program. And then I can see one question here: is it better for us to continue master or not, right? So actually, I think it's again depends on the jobs. For example, if you are looking for academic jobs, like for being lecturer, of course, you need to pursue masters and PhD is better. But if for me, if you are looking for industrial jobs, like Brother Faisal said just now, me myself also, after I graduate my degree, I found out that there are many competition out there where for me, having a degree, only degree is not enough. So I pursue my master because master normally takes 1 or 2 years. So I guess if you graduate from your degree and you cannot find your career, your right career, you might pursue with the master, and then you can try to get better jobs. But actually for industry, the industrial experience is really is a bonus point for you to get the job. So yeah, try to balance between those criteria.
We got another question now from the form that we have sent previously, and is asking about, does the woman capable to survive in the engineering?
Okay, for me, yeah. Again, it depends on yourself because you can see so many successful women engineers out there, right? So actually, if you are talking about women are more multi-purpose. I think multitasking, because if you are talking about women, we are the employee, we are the wife, and also the kids. So if you finish your work at office, when you go back, you still have work to do, right? So yeah, for me myself, we can do, we are capable of doing these engineering jobs, but also, of course, you have to have passion on your jobs and courage, and get support from your team members, from your family. So yeah, just expose yourself and be brave. Women also are capable of doing this kind of job.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Faisal, there is a question regarding the salary. What is the suitable minimum salary for fresh engineers? This is a really critical question.
I don't know what is average salary for graduates. I think it hasn't changed for quite some time.
Depends on industry as well, right?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Very much depends on industry. Yeah.
But again,
I mean, I'll give you the easiest example. For example, if you go into sales, okay, you're not going to be given, you know, I would say, let's say you're not going to be given 3,000 ringgit lah. Okay, probably they give you 2,000, but then the rest you make money from your sales commissions, you know, which can be very good. So it is not, you know, it's not. I mean, don't have that expectation of coming up with a, you know, your first job. You know, just try getting that first foothold into the industry first. That's important. Then work your way up.
Okay, there is a question here, which industry offer higher salary?
Does the industry offer high salary, is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
I guess it depends.
Yeah.
For example, like fresh graduates and for someone who have experience, so the salary might differ based on your criteria. So yeah, like Brother Faisal said, don't focus too much on the salary. Yes, it is important, but no, maybe for industry, right? Like TMB, if fresh graduate now is around nearly 3, but if you have a master or experience, you can get around 3 plus lah, I would say.
Okay, thank you so much. And I guess we reached the end of our program. Again, I want to remind the registration form. Guys, you can just fill up the form for the star points. It's really good for you this time. So we would like to have a picture all together. So if you would like to open your camera, and you can use also the background that we sent in the group. Thank you so much, Brother Faisal and Sister Leana. We are highly appreciating your knowledge and sharing your information. And surely we'll be in touch soon also, maybe for other internship opportunities and other uh, from your expertise. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. All right.
Uh,
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.